And Josh, I'll let you talk to maybe, what your onboarding experience was like, maybe what your experience has been like working with the team, coming in like cold. And I mean, what was that process like for you?
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, as dental owners, we know that if something doesn't work out, we have to deal with the, I don't know how much swearing you do on this channel.
The repercussions
at the end of the day. So when you choose a partner, you have, I mean, it's like getting married, right? That's how I kind of look at it. And so, I really vetted Adam quite a bit just to really get to know who he was. And that's something I've just kind of learned over the years. I'm pretty intense about that kind of stuff. So so the first team member I onboarded me was very systematized. Like she's very professional, very courteous, very efficient. Not these like hour-long conversations where you feel like you got one thing done, right? You're like, why did we just talk for an hour? Yeah, it felt good, but didn't like move the needle at all. So she was very wonderful. So I really enjoyed our onboarding process. That was very positive. I think it's nice too, like they're very realistic with me. Like obviously, like I want everything done yesterday, right? Like, but I'm very understanding. But they're very straight up. Like Josh, it takes a couple months to get this going, and then after a couple months, you won't see your data for a couple months. I really appreciated the candidness from the get-go as well. Like, and the other thing that I love, our 401k company did this as well as Fire Gang, which I'm now asking all our partners to do this. Is here are the 12 things we're going to do in onboarding. Here are the dates we plan on doing them by, right? And then one little extra one that I think is good that I saw with the 401k companies, they actually put the dates that they got stuff done by. And that was pretty cool, right? They're very simple. Here's the 12 steps. Here's when we're going to done it by. Here's our accountability when we got it done by. And I just love that, right? Because we all have so many vendors. Like if something isn't happening on the timeline we expect, we're always checking in on them. It just wastes a lot of time, and it wastes their time, wastes your time. So just having that clarity of here is our onboarding process. This is what it looks like. Realistically, this is how long it's going to take. I think it's just very refreshing because once you know where your partners are at and what they're dealing with, you're more on the same team. And so that was very nice.
Not too many companies do that, Josh. That's the thing. I mean, that actually give you dates and actually stick to those dates.
Oh man.
I mean, it's like, gosh, that's, if we could just make place some bets on all those things.
So onboarding, so that was a very positive experience. And in the past, as you've been trained as a dentist owner not to assume people are on top of it, right? And so you're always like weekly, every 2 weeks, checking in. Hey, where are we at? Because you've just been let down in the past, right? And so it was very nice. When I was checking in, like I have my habits, right? And so to get pushback in a very professional way, like, hey, like we're on this. This will take this long. Like I promise you, we're on this. And it just was nice to have that in place. But the second part of it is usually, yes, I'm the bottleneck in my business, in my business with our partners. We tend to be the bottlenecks. But when it comes to third-party partners, oftentimes you're always pushing, hey, what's next? And what was fun in this experience is, a couple of people I work with, they sent me a list of like 20 things to do, right? To set them up for success, to help them help me. And I thought that was pretty refreshing because I was like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
this is going to take me like 2 weeks. So.
Josh, I'm going to go back to you here. Speaking of what really matters as far as when you decided to delegate the marketing side, right? You could have done it yourself, but you delegated it to Fire Gang, the digital side. What are some of the things that Fire Gang is doing for your practice?
Yeah. Okay, I pulled some data. So I think we engaged in like June or July, and we had about a 2-month onboarding process. So we actually started in September. So let's see here. September, new patients went from 124 in 2019 to 162 in 2020. In October, we went from 126 in 2019 to 228. So yeah, I mean that's real, right? That's significant. Yeah, so that's good. Production has been, highest. Let's see here.
And I want to point out something here because this is really important. It's not like Josh's practice had 20 patients and it moved up. You know what I'm saying? Like when your new patient load is really low, like there's nowhere to go up. There's only one place that's to go up. His practice was already getting a ton of people. He got even more people. That's what I'm so impressed about.
And we did this, and our production went up, everything. We did this with 2 of our main producers getting out of the chair. So, I mean, it's not just like we talked about it, right? Like when you are the center of the universe, you grind, you produce high profit margins. The challenge is be able to build up other people and continue to grow, right? And then you have something you can scale. And that's what I appreciate about Fire Gang is, because they're so structured, I know and I'm not going to break them as we scale up, right? I don't want to keep finding new partners every time we double in size. And so I love how organized they are. And what's the second part of that? Oh, I'm a visionary. I don't know, Glenn, where you go on the spectrum there, but always come with creative ideas. So I always find things, and I always send them to Fire Gang. Hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? Well, I'm one of those guys, right? But I know they're professionals, and when I send them stuff, they look at it, and if they know already, they'll say, hey, Josh, we did this and this. We split tested it. It didn't work. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like, hey, this is something we've been thinking about. It's going to take a couple months for us to build it out because we believe in systems, so we have to build it into our structure to try it. We can't just create it. And so it's been really nice that they're, I'm an innovator, a push for innovation. And so it's been so nice to have somebody be open and listen, but also push back, right? Like, yeah, you could have this, but it's going to cost you this. Not so much in financial, but like it's going to change how you do things and have some other costs. And so that's been really refreshing to have that kind of pushback and both listen and then the interchange. So,
all right, guys, we'll see y'all later.
Take care. See you.